Thanks, Susie. My name is Vanessa, and I am the project manager that's helping Forefront out with I'll Give community. And today I'm joined by Nicole.
Hi, I'm a customer success rep here at GiveGab.
And I'm sure you've seen her pretty face in that little chat bubble at the bottom of the screen. All right, so we're going to get started. So today's presentation is about the 10 steps to success, or being that we're 3 weeks away, what are the final things that you should be going through your checklist about? And it's not too late to make a difference and to get a really robust profile for your I'll Give community campaign. So today we're going to be going over 10 different things. First is defining your goals. So what is your goal for the day, and then how are you going to tackle it? Zero in on your story. So again, once you find that goal, you can formulate that story that will tell a compelling argument for your organization in order to make a connection to the donors. Next is gathering your assets. So what kind of visual assets are you going to use in order to tell that story and make that connection? Create your calls to action. Rallying your team. You don't want to do 24 hours all by yourself, so how do you tap into those around you in order to help you throughout the day? Identifying ambassadors or your fundraising champions, and this is very, very important. We do find data has shown that those organizations who do leverage peer-to-peer fundraisers do raise more money, so who can you identify and start tapping into to do that on your behalf? Branding all digital channels. Solidifying your outreach timeline, so who's doing what when and through what medium. And going through your donor experience, so rehearsing what the donor experience would be like prior to the day, so you can fix any glitches with your profile beforehand. And then how are you going to kick off the day? It's an exciting 24 hours, so how are you going to get that momentum going at 6 p.m. on May 30th, and then how to keep it going. Before I dive in, I do want to make sure that everybody who is registered is donatable. So please go into that section of your profile, make sure your bank account information is filled out, as well as your EIN. If that is not checked off verified, and you have not received any kind of email communication from us indicating as to what that might be, please reach out to us. Just simply click on that little blue bubble in the bottom right corner of your screen and say, hey guys, I'm not seeing that I'm donatable, this isn't checked off, what's going on? So it could be that you misspelled your organization's name, it could be that you put the wrong EIN in, or it could be that your organization can't be verified somehow, so we need to contact you. So please double check that and make sure you're ready for I'll Give community. You don't want to be one of those organizations that's panicking, a few days prior to the day. All right, so let's jump into it. So do you have your goals defined for the day? So the obvious goal for the day could be in terms of dollars raised, but that's not the only thing I'll Give community is good for. So we do find that about 80% of organizations do acquire new donors on the day of. So acquiring new donors and expanding your donor base could be a goal for the day. Also, you could look at acquiring younger donors. So you may have smaller donation tiers in order to accommodate to those lower level tiers. And that could be so you want to steward them, and so in the future they become bigger donors, or even to expand your volunteer base. It could be to get monthly or recurring gifts. All donors have the option to give a monthly gift at the end of the donation sequence, so that you'll see on your donation report after the day. It could be to gain social followers. So many organizations that we work with, their goal is just to get their name out in the community and raise awareness for the cause that they support. That's a great goal to have. Do repeat giving, so you could be targeting your repeat givers. It could be for volunteers. You could have volunteer opportunities available, and it could be to advertise those and acquire new volunteers. Or it could get your board engaged. Board engagement is very critical to your success on the day. Again, our data has shown that the more engaged your board is, the more successful your day is. So get your board engaged definitely, and incorporate them in your overall strategy for the day. The second is your story or theme clear? So this is the body of your profile. So you want to see, are you focusing on a specific program, project, or type of giving? Many of your organizations are multifaceted, and you do so much in so many different things for your community. For a 24-hour period, telling that in your profile might be a little overwhelming for donors. So we recommend that you pick one thing to focus on, one particular goal or project that you're working on that this money would go towards. And then after the donor makes that donation, then you can steward the donor after the day and give them more information about the other things that your organization does. Again, this is about capturing them and creating that connection in a very quick amount of time. So a lot of information or a lot of numbers can be overwhelming and can impede that connection. So just make sure that it's very focused and specific. Do you have a campaign tagline? So again, this will tie back into what your focus is for the day. But there is that spot to do a quick tagline, and that will pull donors in. So again, short and sweet, and that captures your focus. Are you featuring an iconic story of a client, staff member, or volunteer? So telling real stories is great. You work with children, that can be a little bit more tricky because you may need permission. But telling a story that has actually happened and the impact that your organization has had on that particular person or animal will allow and promote that connection that you're making to your audience. Are you supporting your story with data? Again, we want to be kind of careful here. We want to make sure it's meaningful data and data that can be easily digested. But if you can add numbers to show the impact that you've had on your community, it will make your profile that much more impactful. Have you incorporated a matching challenge? So matches are great because they make the donors feel like their dollar is going a lot more. And again, data has shown that people do donate more money when they do see a match available. So if you have supporters that could provide a match, or even just tapping into your board and pulling $100 from each of them and creating a match, that will help encourage supporters to donate a little bit more and also feel like their dollar is going a lot further. And then tie it all in with the annual appeal or some kind of fundraising challenge. So this could be anything from you're getting fundraisers, getting a challenge going between fundraisers, or it could be among staff members to promote the day. Anything to make it kind of fun and appealing that will also incentivize people to promote the day and raise money. Third is, do you have visual assets? So going back to that story that you're telling, do you have images that promote and illustrate that particular story? The images are very easy to see on your profiles, and people can connect to them very, very quickly. Again, with online giving, the catch is to make that connection very quickly. So visual assets such as videos and pictures are really great to make that connection. Also add the I'll Give community logo to your promotions. So Forefront has done a fabulous job in promoting this throughout the state of Illinois, and that particular logo for I'll Give is very recognizable to donors and the citizens of Illinois all over the place. So that's a great way for people to recognize and see that you're participating in the day. And also on the day of, you could do infographics. So again, telling your story through certain numbers. Again, be careful, make sure they're digestible, but numbers can continue to tell that story and the impact that you have had. Also add fun social share images for the day. So as you go through the day, take lots of pictures. Even do Facebook Live, which is a great way to get attention to your Facebook profile and direct them back to your Giving Day profile. But you can take pictures of staff members, volunteers, clients, anybody that you interact with, that you have permission to take the photos of and post them. It's a great way to get that excitement up and really display to the community that you're having fun with it, that you believe in this cause, and that they should support you. One of the simple ways is to go to your downloadable goodies section and download the thank you banner that's branded to I'll Give Community. You print that out and have people hold it, have your staff members hold it, have your volunteers hold it, even put it next to maybe some of the animals that are being adopted, anything to show that you're very thankful for the contributions that they're giving and that you're a part of the day. And then you have a clear call to action. So within your profile and while you're telling that story, you want to make sure you clearly define your donor impact. So have a statement, you can blank. What is the impact that this donation is going to have? You can supply a dog with meals for 1 week. You can supply housing for 1 dog for 1 month. So illustrating what your donation could contribute to is a great way for them to make that connection and make them feel like they're actually buying something tangible. Add your subtext. So our campaigns have housed over 100 dogs over the last 2 years. Our dogs have supplied meals for those 100 dogs for the last 2 years. So having some kind of context what you've done in the past will build trust in your potential supporters. Having visual calls to action is a great way also, getting that connection to the donor. Identify and share your core beliefs and opportunity statements. So this could be a short and sweet statement that captures what you do, but it also shares what you really believe in at the core. So you believe that every dog should have a loving home and should have several meals for a day. So that tells the donors what you believe in, so then again, they make that connection, they know what your foundation is, and they can get behind you and support you. And always include your campaign links. So within your Giving Day dashboard, on the right side, you have a link that ties directly back to your Giving Day profile. Make sure that's the link that you're sharing. Donors can find illgive.com. However, they're going to have to search for your organization. By using that link that's in your Giving Day profile, when a donor clicks on that, it'll go right to your profile. So it cuts out any searching that they have to do, making the donation sequence that much quicker and shorter for them, which is what we want. So while you promote your day, email, social media, your website, even the signature of your email, make sure you're linking out to your organization's profile link. And again, if you have any questions about where that is or which you can't find it or having trouble, please reach out to our support team and we can direct you to exactly where it is.
Number 5 is making sure that your team is prepared. So we have some great resources in the nonprofit toolkit that talk about some of the different roles that maybe your team could take on, or even if you want to check out our blog, we have some great blog articles about maybe how to get your volunteers involved, how to get your staff involved, and making sure that the responsibilities are manageable for everybody on your team. You also want to play to people's strengths. So, if you want to get your board member involved on your team, but maybe they're not so great at asking people to give money. So maybe you don't want to add them as a fundraiser, but they're really great at promoting on social media. So play to those kinds of strengths and making sure that you're giving your team the best responsibilities for what they can do and what their strengths are. You also want to set expectations and clear responsibilities with clear deadlines. You want to make sure that this is a successful and enjoyable process for everybody, so you don't want to be, panicking and kind of overwhelmed the day before or something. You want to make sure that you get things done ahead of time and all of your tasks are done in little kind of manageable bits. You also want to share key campaign messages and weekly content, so make sure that your supporters are engaged throughout this whole process. And you want to make it fun for everybody involved. Number 6 is having your ambassadors identified. So as Vanessa said, it's super important to leverage those supporters that have those loud voices and are willing to raise money on your behalf. So you want to identify those people who are maybe your followers, your past donors, clients, friends, board members, volunteers, or staff members. Those people who, again, will use their voices to champion your cause and let their networks know how important your organization is, and will ask their networks to donate and to raise money for your organization. You also want to set clear expectations for those ambassadors and let them know exactly how they'll make an impact. So when you're inviting them, which you can do right through the platform, in that invite email, maybe talk about what their engagement will be doing and how their fundraising will be important to your organization. You also want to arm them with some campaign messages and some content. So, maybe making sure to create a couple emails beforehand, or providing them with images. We have a lot of those things available to fundraisers in the fundraiser toolkit. If you just go to our nonprofit toolkit, you can navigate to that toolkit from there. So providing them with that link, making sure that they have access to those social media posts, those emails, so that way it's so much easier for them to kind of just copy and paste, and it makes the asking for money process a lot easier for them. You also want to explain any matches or challenges. So if you do secure any sponsor matches, it would be so great for them to know, so that way they can provide that messaging to their network, so that they know they can tell their donors that their donation will go, double. They'll make a bigger impact because of this match. So it's important to make sure that you let them know, so that again they can voice that to their networks. And again, it's really important to make it fun. So if you want to have a fundraising pizza party, or just sending out some fun videos to your fundraisers just to keep them motivated, it's important to again keep them engaged and keep them motivated and make it fun.
And if you have any questions about how to leverage fundraising ambassadors, please feel free to go back to our peer-to-peer fundraising webinar. It is posted on the illgive.com website under webinars.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Vanessa. And the seventh one is about branding fluidity. So you want to make sure that your content is consistent throughout all channels. So the store, whatever story you share, the dog that you decide to highlight, want to make sure that that is consistent through your website, through emails, through social media channels, and on your Giving Day page. That way, it's easy for you to share that information, because again, it's already kind of created and you can continue to tell that story, and so that your supporters, really understand the impact that they're going to make, and kind of drilled into their heads the story that you're kind of trying to tell. And as Vanessa said, it's awesome to update your email signatures with your Giving Day profile. That way, again, it's so easy to just, every time you send an email, it's right there. So you can really engage with your personal network through your even personal email. And you also want to make sure that all of your images and text are mobile responsive. So make sure to check out your email and your website, your Giving Day profile. Check it out on a mobile device, on a tablet, making sure that all of those pages look as you want them to on a mobile device. We make sure that all of our pages are mobile responsive, because we know how important it is to be able to donate from a mobile device. But make sure that those images look exactly how you want them to, and that your text is formatting the way that you would like it to on your profile and your other channels. Eight is, do you have an outreach plan? So this is another thing that you can check out in the nonprofit toolkit. We have some great resources with email marketing that will really help you to create your messaging, and kind of have some little tips about how to utilize email marketing, because it really is a very important aspect of your outreach plan. And that is also, again, in the communication content. So if you're interested in checking those out, some of those outreach strategies are in there as well. So you want to kind of plan communications with all those involved. So your board, your staff, donors, anybody who might be a prospective donor, and your ambassadors. So, having emails like an announcement email, letting them know that you are participating and, they should be excited. Maybe ramping up communications and expanding your promotions as the day gets closer. And then accelerating those communications as we're maybe a week or two away. You also want to have a countdown. So, you don't want to overwhelm people with communications, but letting them know that you are 1 week away, you're 3 days away, so that they know exactly when that date is and they will not forget if you include that countdown. You also want to include maybe some last-minute readiness, especially for your ambassadors and your staff, so that they know exactly how to proceed on the day, and that they're ready in case they have any questions, they can reach out to you. And then having some big day communications are also super important. You want to, again, remind people that it's happening, maybe let them know of your progress throughout the day. So, we've reached 50% of our goal, or, we've raised this much money, and this is how it will make an impact. So having those communications ready and scheduled is super important to kind of ease your responsibilities on the day. And again, you want to make sure that your ambassadors have the tools that they need. So sharing that peer-to-peer fundraising toolkit is a great way to do that, so that they have all of their resources and tools for the day. And then you also want to plan for a 90-day follow-up stewardship plan. So it's really important not only to gain those donors, but to keep those donors. So we actually have another webinar after the day that has to do with stewardship that will kind of help you with that follow-up plan. And number 9 is testing your donor experience. So have you gone through the donation flow and ensured that it's exactly how you want it to look? Look at it on a computer, on a tablet, on a phone. Be very critical of the experience. Send out a test email through the platform to make sure that your emails are formatted as you'd want them to, and make sure that the process again is as easy as possible. You also want to identify and fix any pain points that you have ahead of the day. And if you have any questions about that process, or want to get a little clarification, feel free to reach out again to that little blue chat bubble in the right corner of your screen, and we're happy to walk you through any of the questions that you have. And now I'm going to pass it off to Vanessa for the final step.
So the final step is to evaluate, is your day big enough? So you want to make this fun for your entire team that's working on it. And I know here at GiveGab, we make it an experience here as we support you and your Giving Day efforts. So some ideas are you can have a party room where people can gather, provide snacks to keep energy high, and that's something that we have tons of in the office. And celebrate when you reach your goals. Maybe you can have sparkling grape juice, champagne. You could have a pizza party. Anything to keep the energy high and celebrate. And it is 24 hours, so if you do have a smaller team and you're going to be pushing long hours, these are great things to have to just keep you engaged, keep the energy up and going throughout the day. Assigning roles to your team members will help keep you all in line and keep you sane for the day. So as Nicole explained earlier with your as far as leveraging your board, same thing with your team, play to their strengths, understand what they're good at, what they want to do, and design your strategy around that. Plan your outreach across all channels. So again, go into that nonprofit toolkit, this communication timeline, and you can see the suggested communication timeline for your day of giving. Again, you do not have to follow every single step that is in that communication timeline. It's merely a suggestion. So pick what you're comfortable with and what you think works for your organization. Leverage all those different outreach channels, so phone, email, text, mail, social media. These are all great ways to touch your donors. Again, look at the segments of your donors that you're targeting and customize your outreach strategy around how those different segments communicate. Again, if you're going to try to get a younger donor base, then maybe mail flyers aren't the best way to outreach to them. You may want a more robust social media outreach strategy. So looking at it in terms of what your target segment is will help you figure out the best strategy and way of getting in touch with those people. And track and share your progress. So this is a great way to build excitement and keep prospective donors and donors motivated throughout the day. If you're updating periodically and it's almost 6 o'clock and you're $352 away from your goal and you're promoting that, then if I've already donated during the day, I might be inclined to donate to you again because I want you to reach your goals. I want to be a part of a winning team. So it's a great way to, again, drop that energy, keep it going, and keep those supporters engaged even after they've given. And host a kickoff or an in-person event. So this is something that we've seen huge success with across all of our giving days who have done them. And having some kind of kickoff event or closing event either at a restaurant, doing like a happy hour, or hosting an open house, inviting your supporters to come check out your facility. It could be a picnic where you have iPads around where people can make donations and have some snacks. Really get creative with it, and if you can get that in-person engagement, it's really a great way to not only get support for the day, but engage your donors and start that stewardship process even earlier. All right, so we've just laid a lot of information on you. So what are the big takeaways? So really develop that iconic story that's authentic, emotional, and easy to understand. Remember, online fundraising is about capturing the donor's attention and making that connection very quickly. So make sure that your story is very clear and concise and very relatable. You want to capture what you do in a very short and sweet way without overwhelming them with a ton of information. Again, you can save that extra information for when you begin to steward that relationship after the day. Make sure that your story and brand are consistent among all channels. So the acronym that you can use is COPE, so create once, post everywhere. It'll also help you cope with the day because you only have to do it once. But this will make sure that all your social media, all your advertising and marketing channels are all consistent. You don't want to be telling different stories in different channels in case you have donors looking at multiple channels. They could get confused, and we definitely don't want that. So by creating that story once and posting it everywhere will keep your message very consistent and keep your donors engaged and knowing what your goals are. And make it clear how your donors can help change lives, help impact your organization in a meaningful way on OwlGive community. Again, be specific about your ask and be specific about the impact that it'll have on your organization. Having vague requests, again, it's hard to make that kind of connection or be motivated. But if I know $100 will buy meals for 10 dogs for a week, then I know that I'm buying 10 meals for 10 dogs for a week. That makes me feel good and as if I'm buying something tangible. So be specific in your asks and really convey to your donors that they are helping others by participating in OwlGive community. So what are your next steps? If you haven't done these things already, follow OwlGive community on Facebook and Twitter. And also on Instagram. They have some great posts, great updates, and good information periodically being posted there. I know I follow them. Watch your inbox for important emails. So we have been sending weekly emails that are promoting different things that you should be doing or focusing on for the week. So watch out for those. If you haven't been getting those, check your spam box just in case. If that's not the case, then you're not registered, so get registered. And then visit your nonprofit toolkit for tips and templates to help you prepare and promote for OwlGive community. So you've heard Nicole and I talk about that all through this presentation. That's really your best friend in your preparations for OwlGive community. There's so much there. So if you have questions about what do I write in Facebook or how do I use Twitter the best way, there's Twitter tips and tricks on there. There's Facebook tips and tricks. There's predefined templates that you can snag and modify to your organization's needs. There's the peer-to-peer fundraising toolkit that Nicole was talking about. It's a really great source of information for your peer-to-peer fundraisers, makes their lives super easy. There's the downloadable goodies where you can leverage the I'll Give community logo and other assets. So there's tons of stuff in there, so please check it out and please leverage that in your day of preparations. And again, complete your I'll Give community profile. So here at GiveGab and Forefront, we are asking that your profiles are completed by May 10th, so that's just a couple of days away. We have changed the site over to GivingView, so donors are coming to the website and checking out your profiles. So please be ready for them to look at those. If you need any help or feedback on your profile, even if you want us to look at it and say, does this look right? Does my story sound good? Please reach out to our team. We're really happy to help with not only technical questions, but also strategy as well. We've seen a lot of really great campaigns. We've also seen a lot of really bad campaigns. So we would really love to give you guys feedback. If you're welcome to that, just let us know by clicking on that chat bubble. And I'll add one more thing in here as well. Again, if your bank account information has not been entered in and if you're not considered verified, please reach out to us and let us know so we can work through that. You don't want to get caught not being verified. That means you can't participate in I'll Give community. So we don't want all these efforts to be wasted. And with that, if you have any questions, please write them into the chat box. Susie, I don't think I see any as of now. Is that correct?
I think we have one.
Okay.
So right now I'm seeing a question that says, prior to the actual event, how can potential donors find out about this event using our website? What link can we use for someone who visits our site and wants info prior to the event online?
Great question. So in your Giving Day profile, there is a specific link to your Giving Day profile that's on the right-hand side. So that's the link that you'll want to share out in all your marketing materials. And that will bring the donors back to your organization's profile, which will tell them about your story, your goals for the day. If you want to point people back to illgive.com, you can also do that. There's also a lot of information about the event there as well. We do have the frequently asked questions section for donors, so if they do have questions, they can click on that, and we do have a list there. And of course, donors are also welcome to click on the little blue chat bubble and talk with us. If there's a question that the GiveGab team can't answer, we will forward it off to the Forefront team to triage. I hope that answers your question.
That sounds good to me. It looks like, oh, we have another one. It says, we just had a board retreat, and I'm starting from scratch promoting this agency. We are Forefront members. Is it too late for us to get going on I'll Give? I'll have to find stories, visuals, everything.
The answer is no. It's not too late. You do have 3 weeks until the event, so time is crunched. But if you're not registered already, please get registered as soon as you possible. We will be cutting off registration end of day Sunday, so it has been extended a little bit. But go ahead and get registered, and then fill in your bank account and EIN organization information. That will allow our system to verify you, which can take 2 to 3 business days. And if there's a reason that we're having trouble verifying you, it could take a little bit longer because we'll reach out and try to figure out with you what's wrong. So definitely get that information in as soon as possible. And then from there, start building your story, use your visual assets, get familiar with the website, of course, and then start promoting. Our research has shown that when organizations start promoting their profiles 2 to 4 weeks prior to the day, they tend to be the most successful. So letting your donor base and your network know that I'll Give community is on May 30th through the 31st, and getting them ready to donate will help expand your reach and get those donors ready to give. But yeah, it's definitely not too late. I walked somebody through how to register last Friday for Giving Day. That's tomorrow. So you still have time and you definitely can still be successful. And check out the recorded webinars as well if you have any questions around that. Any other questions?
I'm not seeing any in the chat box. Let's give it just a few more seconds in case anyone is typing or thinking about a question.
Sure. And if anybody has any questions after we hang up, please feel free to write into the chat bubble.
All right, I'm not seeing any more questions come in, so we hope everyone enjoyed today's webinar and will join us for more learning opportunities in the future. You can see what's coming up on our website, myforefront.org. Thanks again, everyone, for joining, and like Vanessa said, please feel free to check out the previously recorded webinars as well as the toolkit on algive.com. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.